Good morning and welcome. Today's presentation represents the third annual Who We Are event. Whether you're here with me live at our headquarters at Jordan Commons or in a remote location watching through via webcast or watching this event delayed, my family and I welcome you and thank you for joining us. This meeting is one of my favorite events. I look forward to it every year. Because I enjoy this meeting, it provides the opportunity for us to pause, to acknowledge each other, and to appreciate the breadth and scope of this unique organization. It also allows us to focus on the good you, as a group, accomplish. You work hard to follow Larry's challenge to go about doing good until there's too much good in the world. We are a unique and special company. What sets us apart and binds us together is the fact that we've created and implemented a culture of values. Practicing these values makes us stronger and gives us direction. Thank you for what you do every day to perpetuate this culture and strengthen our legacy. Last year, our theme was based on the group's mission, to enrich lives. This year, our theme is based on the group's vision, to be the best place in town to work and the best place in town to do business. Wanting to be the best is not arrogant, it's aspirational. Our success is based on personal growth and continuous improvement. I believe our work should be productive, worthwhile, and fun. When you enjoy what you do, you perform better, and customers take notice. When you enjoy your work, the quality of your work improves. And then customers enjoy working with us, and our business continues to grow and be more successful. Early on, Larry and I established the philosophy and foundation for our group's vision. Larry often spoke about our desire to be the best. Here's a soundbite of Larry in his own words outlining our personal vision, which we have since formally adopted as the vision for the Larry H. Miller Group of Companies.
We stated as two of our objectives of being the best place in town to work and the best place in town to do business. Now, those are things that we don't just throw out the words tritely. We really want to be those things.
There are two components to this vision, an internal employee focus and an external customer focus. Both are equally important to our continued success. They go hand in hand. As I reflect on 2016, it was another remarkable year for the group. I'd like to share the 2016 Year in Review video that highlights some of the significant accomplishments that collectively you have made happen. But before we show the video, let me share with you the outline for today's program. After the video, Clark Whitworth, our CEO, will address us. His well-rounded knowledge of our company, along with his calm and methodical approach to business, are a huge asset as he carries out his duties. Following Clark, we'll hear from my son, Steve, who serves as the vice chair of the board of directors. He will share our vision for the future, which we refer to as the Miller 2020 vision. Following Steve, I'll share some closing remarks. Here's the 2016 Year in Review.
Incredible, fantastic, astounding, amazing, legendary. Quite frankly, there aren't enough words to describe just how superb a year 2016 was for the Larry H. Miller Group of Companies. This was a year we reached record heights in automotive sales, retail sales, and consumer financing. This was a year of massive construction projects and huge announcements that excited and energized Utah sports fans. This was the first full year with the board of directors, with Steve Miller elected vice chairman of the board. Even our websites, LHM.com and LHMauto.com, got some market-boosting facelifts. It's almost too much to put into one video, but we'll do our very best. Starting with LHM Automotive. In 2016, the company welcomed 4 new dealerships in Denver, Colorado: Cherry Creek Dodge Ram, Colorado Chrysler Jeep, Fiat Denver, and Nissan Southwest. That brings the total number of dealerships up to 60, the most we've ever had, and ensures our place as one of the 10 largest dealership groups in the nation. This year, Gail Miller lent her voice to help promote the dealerships with a dynamic new TV campaign focused on company values. LHM Subaru Boise was named a Best Dealership to Work For by Automotive News for the 3rd year in a row, while LHM Dodge Ram Avondale was named a top workplace by the Arizona Republic. Major manufacturer awards were also par for the course for Avondale Chrysler Jeep, Avondale Dodge Ram, Tucson Chrysler Jeep, American Toyota, and Nissan Highlands Ranch. Avondale Dodge Ram also received the Walter P. Chrysler Award, Chrysler's most prestigious award, a truly remarkable achievement. These awards are a reflection of the people who work at all of our dealerships. People like Andrew Orr, who earned Chrysler's most valuable professional certification, the first sales professional in the Western Business Center to earn the award. Paul Nygaard, LHM Auto Senior Vice President of Marketing, who was named a Sales and Marketer of the Year by Utah Business Magazine. Thomas Needham, who sold a record 466.5 vehicles in 2016. And of course, the people who sold a record number of cars in 2016. That's a lot of cars every day, all year long. Efforts like this fuel the rest of the company, ensuring even more success and growth. For more examples of incredible employee dedication, let's look at Prestige Financial. Prestige employees reached over $1 billion in total assets managed in 2016. The Salt Lake Tribune named them Best Large Company to Work For in Utah, giving Prestige employees a year to remember. Total Care Auto had a banner year of their own, with 64,688 contracts sold in a single month, with 635,000 total contracts in 2016, an all-time high. That's just one sign of how successful Total Care Auto has been all across the country. With so many record-setting employees, Prestige and Total Care have needed more office space. So with the help of Larry H. Miller Real Estate, they made major progress on a new building in 2016. The Prestige Financial Building wasn't the only major construction project supervised by LHM Real Estate in 2016. Honda of Boise, Subaru of Boise, and Toyota of Spokane opened new state-of-the-art dealerships, while Saxton Horn unveiled a creative and dynamic new office space at Jordan Commons. All in all, LHM Real Estate completed construction of 3 new buildings, totaling over 138,000 square feet, and with over $230 million invested in various projects. But the big real estate story of 2016 was the announcement that a $125 million renovation and expansion will dramatically transform the 25-year-old Vivint Smart Home Arena, enhancing the experience for customers and Larry H. Miller sports and entertainment employees alike. It's not the only thing sports and entertainment employees are excited about, though. The more than 1,000 fans employees in 94 stores broke sales records on their way to a major organizational turnaround and achieved a remarkable 51% year-over-year improvement in operational net income, an incredible accomplishment for any company. Sports and entertainment brought 4 universities together to agree to the 3-year Zions Bank Beehive Basketball Classic, featuring Brigham Young University, Utah State University, Weber State, and the University of Utah, starting in 2017. The Salt Lake City Stars, formerly the Idaho Stampede, made a big move, relocating to Utah in 2016. The Jazz tapped into their roots with a new brand identity this year, with a return to the popular J-Note logo. The Jazz also added some veteran experience to the team in the form of players George Hill, Joe Johnson, and Boris Diaw. The Salt Lake Bees completed another record-breaking summer of classic baseball, while the Tour of Utah featured a historic ride through a national park, something no other American cycling event has ever done before. And Megaplex Theaters announced a new luxury theater to be built in Holiday, Utah, while the Megaplex at Jordan Commons once again reached #1 status in the nation for the premieres of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and Rogue One, a Star Wars Wars story. That kind of success is an indication that a lot of movie fans really know the best place to have a good time. Just like our employees know how to do a good turn for the people of the communities where we do business. In 2016, LHM dealerships collected over $60,000 worth of school supplies for Stuff for Students and held a successful holiday toy drive as well. The annual LHM Golf Classic raised over $250,000 for LHM charities. In addition, an evening with the Utah Jazz, benefiting LHM charities, and Special Olympics Utah raised more than $300,000. 1280 The Zone raised over $300,000 for the road home during their annual radiothon, more than any other radio station in Utah. Of course, that's only a fraction of what the company gives to others once you factor in the many hours of service LHM employees offered over the course of the year, from the annual day of service to serving the homeless with dealerships in Spokane and with the Jazz in Utah. There were a record number of basketball courts built in 2016 and a record number of donations for Sub for Santa. And highlighting the Miller family's dedication to education, the Education Foundation awarded 311 scholarships to children of employees at 89 different colleges. Larry and Gail Miller also received a 2016 Certified Commercial Investment Manager Hall of Fame Award for their work over the years. That's just a taste. A few highlights of the many accomplishments our more than 11,000 employees were responsible for in 2016. Every year, we see achievements like this that seem impossible to top, and every year, we do it anyway. What does 2017 have in store? If 2016 is any indication, anything is possible.
What an exciting video. 2016 was a remarkable year. Thank you to all of you for making 2016 such a success. Each year when we watch the year in review video, it causes me to pause and reflect on all that was accomplished in the preceding year. The LHM group is large and diverse, but sometimes we become so focused on our own workplace, we might forget we're part of a strong and vibrant organization. Currently, the group employs nearly 12,000 people and has annual revenues of more than $5 billion. I've had the privilege of working for the company for more than 29 years and have had the unique opportunity of participating in and watching it grow and its accomplishments. It's a tribute to Larry and Gail. Starting from humble beginnings of the original Murray Toyota store in 1979, the group has grown to what it is today. I worked closely with Larry for 21 years and learned many things before his passing. He taught me many principles and values. He shared a story that he liked that taught about working to accomplish greatness. After Larry passed, Gail and I talked about the story, and she broadened my view of the lessons it taught. The theme of this Who We Are presentation today is based on this story and the concepts it teaches. Even though it's almost 60 years old, its principles are timeless. We've created a video that presents Larry's favorite story and the underlying lessons it teaches. The video is entitled, "To Be the Best." Now let's enjoy the video. Our theme for 2017 is to be the best place in town to work and the best place in town to do business. In fact, that's the vision of our company. Larry and Gail have always felt that if they were going to be in business, they were going to give their best each and every day. They have strived since opening the first dealership in 1979 to always create an environment where the employees can grow and have opportunities to be successful. There was a story that Larry was very fond of. In fact, he shared it with his employees often. The story first appeared in Reader's Digest in 1958 and has been retold many times over throughout the world. This story meant so much to Larry that he had it included in the first employee magazine printed back in 1986. The story is also included in Larry's autobiography, Driven. The story is about a young man whose mentor helps him learn to become the best that he can be.
One day, a young boy was approached by an older woman in his neighborhood, whom he and the other children referred to as the Countess, due to her elegant and refined demeanor, as well as her very stately home. She explained that she was in need of a new gardener and had seen him caring for his own yard. She could see in his work that the boy had potential. The boy didn't believe anyone could tell the Countess no, so he showed up the following Thursday as directed, ready to work. The first day on the job, the Countess guided the boy from start to finish as he learned to care for her yard. He had to go over the entire yard 3 times before she was satisfied. When he finally finished, the Countess asked the boy how much he thought his day's work was worth. The boy shrugged and suggested 50 cents. She agreed and gave him that amount, along with an additional $1.50 that she said she helped him earn by teaching and pushing him. The Countess then explained that he would be paid based on his own evaluation of his work and the effort he put into it. She told him that there are as many ways to mow a lawn as there are people, and they may be worth a penny to $5. A $3 job would be just what he did today, but without her needing to direct him. A $4 job would be near perfection, and a $5 job, well, that's impossible. He left with his $2, a large sum for a boy in those days, determined that he would earn that $4 prize the following week. However, by his second time around the yard, his energy and determination were all but gone, and he couldn't see himself reaching even a $3 effort. It took him several weeks, but he slowly improved from a $2 job, which the Countess said put him on the edge of being dismissed, to a more respectable $3 effort. As he became more and more familiar with the yard, he determined he would do whatever it took to earn that elusive $4. But each week, he found his energy and ambition faded with each blade of grass he mowed. One day, the Countess noted that the boy was consistently performing at a $3.50 level and commended him on his efforts, stating that only a handful of people in the world could do a $4 job. He found her words comforting at first, but then the comfort became an irritant that made him resolve to do that $4 job, even if he expired in the process. As the idea began to take shape in his mind, it dawned on him. Why shoot for the $4 job when $5 was the ultimate goal, the true measure of his worth? He had to do the impossible. The task was daunting, but he knew just what he had to do and had a plan. Instead of using shears to trim the grass at the edges, he would line everything up with a yardstick and cut the grass to exact specifications. And instead of ignoring the small worm mounds that are features of every lawn in the neighborhood, he would take the extra effort to smooth them all out. After 2 exhausting hours, he was ready to give up again. He sat down to rest under a walnut tree, and when he awoke a short time later, the lawn looked good. The nap had renewed his energy, and he was anxious to get on with his job. He followed this pattern throughout the day, taking time to rest every hour or so to regain his perspective and replenish his strength. It was hard work, and it took nearly everything the boy had. But at the end of the day, he proudly went to the Countess and asked for $5. The Countess raised an eyebrow and reminded him that a $5 job simply was not possible. The boy motioned to the yard and proclaimed that it was possible because he had just done it. The Countess smiled and asked him why he had done something so remarkable. It was hard for him to put into words, but the Countess understood that when he had resolved to do the $5 job, he had felt excited about the idea, and that excitement and that drive gave him a new perspective of his worth and his potential. She told him that whenever something in him says it's impossible, to take a careful look and see if it's an opportunity to grow an inch or a foot or a mile on the way to a fuller life. For the boy, it was no longer about the money, but learning that the path to the possible passes through the middle of the impossible.
The power of the experiences this young man had in this story made Larry want to share it with many. Larry, like the young man, knew that he could do anything if he set his mind to it. Nothing was impossible to him. He also was very much like the Countess. He worked very hard to set up an environment where those that worked for him would have the opportunity to learn and to become the best that they could be. And then Larry would challenge them to put forth all effort to become the very best and reach the impossible. This is a great story of hope, that we can far exceed whatever we thought we could do. That by applying ourselves and learning, we can become the best and that not only can we become the best, we desire to become the best, and the satisfaction from doing a job well done is reward in and of itself. As we continue to mature and grow, we all have the responsibility to be a mentor to others, those people that we work with, to help them understand and learn that they too can do the impossible. This is what is meant by being a student, a teacher, and a leader. And if we continue to do these things, we will continue to be the best place in town to work, the best place in town to do business. Larry loved that story. At different times in his life, he identified himself as both the boy and the countess. Over the years, as I've studied and thought about this story, I've come to recognize the principles of great leadership it contains. It teaches us the process of becoming the best at something. Being the best drove Larry, and it continues to drive and inspire us today. It's not one thing that makes this place in the best place in town to work and the best place in town to do business. It's the accumulation of little things that happen every day. And it's amazing how contagious that is when we get everyone involved in making it a better and better place. I believe we are the best place in town to work and the best place in town to do business. But we need to continue to make sure we do the things that will keep us there and make us even better. As you leave the event today, you will receive 2 items. This booklet, which is a companion to the Who We Are book, you should have already received, and this comment card. The booklet contains the impossible job story with the beautiful illustrations you saw in the video, along with some insights and principles the story teaches us. This booklet is intended to be a companion to the Mission, Vision, and Values Guiding Principles book. We hope you will read the book and look for the insights and timeless principles. The second item is a comment card. I challenge each of you to complete this card and to keep it where it will remind you of your commitment to be the best. The card reads, I am committed to the LHM Group's vision to be the best place in town to work and the best place in town to do business. I will make a difference by taking action every single day. Then there are 2 statements that represent the 2 aspects of our vision, internal and external. One employee facing, the other customer facing. The first statement reads, I will make this the best place in town to work by, then there's a space for you to write whatever you're going to do. The second statement reads, I will make this the best place in town to do business by, and again, there's a space for you to write whatever you are going to do. I don't want to be overly prescriptive, but your commitment can be a great asset to you. It can charge you up to do something in your life that will make a difference and help you keep focused. It does not have to be something big. It could be simple, but I challenge each of you to do it. Put your name on it, sign it, and put it in a place where you can see it and reflect upon it often. I believe we're the best, but I think it's powerful when you hear it directly from our employees and customers. We've created a video where we interviewed our employees from around the various entities. This video represents just a slice of all the wonderful things that happen each and every day in our organization. After watching the video, Steve Miller will address us. He will share the Miller 2020 vision. It's important to know the family is united. Steve will share their goals and objectives for the group to follow. We will work diligently to accomplish these goals and objectives. Along the way, we will have the opportunity to meet with the family and give an update on our progress. Now let's watch the video.
There are more than 11,000 employees of the Larry H. Miller Group of companies across the United States. Some of us have worked for the company for decades, while others are just getting started. No matter where we come from or what our position might be, we are united by a vision that makes our jobs more than just a place to punch in and punch out. It's a vision that has been in place since the earliest days of the company.
Over the years, we've not lost focus of what we started with. The idea was to be the very best we could be at whatever we did and to help other people. We want to be the best place in town to work and the best place in town to do business, and we want to enrich lives wherever we can.
This is the best place in town to work because my coworkers feel like family. The people I report to feel like family.
Working in a place where I can call my coworkers, not just my coworker, I can call them my friend, and a lot of them I can say I feel like we have like more of a family connection. I can't even put it into words.
I love that I can pretty much talk about anything going on in my life to really anybody here, and they will listen, give good advice. One of the mechanics, he's putting on a bunch of accessories on my new Honda that I bought, and it's like a dad almost, you know, asking for help, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll do that for you, I'll show you how I did it, and it's great. You just feel like people have your back.
My accident involved a semi losing part of its load and a 4x4 post going through the windshield of my truck at 100 miles an hour. Hit me in the face, broke my shoulder, and I had to learn how to walk, talk, write, everything all over again. And at that point, it took me about 8 months to come back to being able to function as a capable adult. Not only was my family there with me, wondering if I was going to be able to make it through that, but my general manager, my other managers, the sales staff, everywhere from service, everybody came and made sure that my family was okay. They brought her food, they brought her comfort, and what we have here is just different. It's a different environment. Like I said, it's family. It's not a workplace, it is family.
That feeling of family permeates every entity within the Larry H. Miller Group of companies. It's an extension of the core values that were established early on and continue to impact the unique culture found throughout the company.
I actually have a book that's on my sales desk, and in that book is a bunch of different dividers, and in those dividers is stewardship, leadership, etc. So when somebody does something good for others, they write it into the book. Not the person that did the good deed, but the person that received the good deed. Whether it be helping somebody with a car deal, whether it be helping a client in the service drive. It really shows that people go out of their way to help others.
I believe that people come to Larry H. Miller because they know that we're honest and we have values that we stand by, and that the employees that are hired to work with us implement those values.
Who does that? Who says that they not only want to enrich lives but change the world? It's just, I get emotional every time I talk about it because it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Changing the world for our employees makes for a warm, inviting workplace, but it also allows our employees to create the best place for a customer to buy a car, see a game, a movie, or work their way toward financial stability. Creating the best place in town to do business means starting from the ground up.
The commitment of the Miller family to this community was apparent from the first day I came to this city and met them. These buildings are often the #1 community center where more people from 2 years old to 92 years old come to have fun and enjoy themselves.
When I come and have my fan experience at the arena, I get given my name back a dozen times from employees. And so I think they must preach to the people that let's make our customers feel like they're part of the family. And let's know them by name. Let's make sure they have a great experience. And so I felt that connection to the organization, that the customers are part of the family.
Well, to me, the best place in town to do business means you have a place where customers want to return to frequently. So the first thing we look for when we build a new building is we wonder and analyze how this will best help the customer. How does it give a good customer experience?
Just the pure design and the thought process that goes into building a megaplex. From when you enter the building, what does it look like? What does it feel like? When you go to the concession stand, when it's busy and we're packed, can we facilitate and can we manage all of the guests coming in?
I'm creating lifelong memories for people. You know, it's giving people a chance to come and escape whatever's going on for a few minutes of their lives, to come and sit back and enjoy a baseball game and be able to, spend time with family, friends, enjoy a produce race during a mid-inning break with characters running around the field, or a Star Wars night, or whatever it may be able to walk around and know that I have a part in creating memories that are going to last a lifetime for people is a pretty special thing to be involved in.
Well, I ran into a customer that had a car that had a flat tire on the road, and we went and fixed it. You know, actually, my wife and I pulled over, and I went and changed the tire, and my wife and him were talking and stuff like that, and sent him on his way. They try to tip you, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to get tipped. You know, I go, I do this because I like doing it. Because you look at it as like, what if that's one of my family members? You know, what if that's my mom's side of the road? Wouldn't you want somebody to kind of help? So that's the way I look at things.
I'd say 75% of my customers that come in, I know their family, I know their children, I know a lot about them, and they know the same about me. I'd say the other percent is new customers, of course, that have just purchased their vehicles that I'm just waiting to build relationships with them.
There was an instance last week where a customer came in. He was out of town. He flew in to buy a vehicle here, and the vehicle wasn't ready for him. So we had about 15 minutes to close. I had to get 7 technicians on one vehicle just to get all the work done. We did it in about a half an hour. It was about a 12-hour ticket. The guy didn't have to stay here. He didn't have to get a hotel room. He got back home to his family for the holidays. So, you know, really what you do impacts people's lives. It's not just, I fixed a tire. It goes further than that in their aspect.
Creating moments like these and friendships that endure are only possible thanks to the employees who are willing to see beyond the job description to the mission, vision, values, and guiding principles of the company. Together, we are a powerful force for good, a team that can make anything possible.
I think this is really the best place in town to work, really because of the people. There's a sense of community and pride within working here.
And it's contagious, and that's what's the best part, is that with it being contagious and with us working the way that we do, it's almost like everybody wants to do it without even having to think about it. This is exactly who we are, and this is exactly why we all stay.
I've worked in a lot of different places and have had experience with different management styles and types and company formats and all of that. I am here to tell you firsthand, this company is unmatched. It is absolutely unmatched.
All the hard work, all the kicks, all the meetings, all the, no, that's not compliant, all of it, it's worth it to do and struggle through to come out ahead with this team. They're amazing. I would stand with these people for anything. And I think that we're all luckier to have each other and be a part of this Larry H. Miller group.
That was a really powerful video made possible by you, the incredible men and women that make up the fabric of this company. Thank you for being who you are. If you had a superpower, what would it be? When you were a kid, did you dream of being a superhero? Maybe you dreamed of having superhuman strength like the Incredible Hulk. Maybe you wished for the power to be invisible or to fly. When I was young, my favorite superhero was Spider-Man. Some of you might be more altruistic and wish for the superpower of healing, to heal broken hearts and bodies. What about in business? What superpower would be the most useful in the work setting? I think it might be the ability to predict the future. Imagine if you could predict inventory levels, interest rates, blockbuster movies, staffing ratios, credit scores, a player's ability, or the NBA draft. Can you imagine how powerful that would be? The superpower of predicting the future would provide a significant market advantage. More than 150 years ago, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president of this great nation, offered an insight regarding predicting the future. He said, "The best way to predict your future is to create it." What do you think he meant by that? Dennis Gabor, who won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1971, said something similar. The future cannot be predicted, but futures can be invented. So what do these two quotes have in common? We each inherently possess the superpower to create or invent our own future. This is how we take charge of our destiny. It's how we make our vision a reality. This is how we predict the future, by creating it. So if that's true, and I believe it is, what is the process of creating our future? The process involves looking forward, A to Z, and then reasoning backwards, Z to A. According to both Abraham Lincoln and Dennis Gabor, creating our future is a very deliberate and conscious effort. It is essential to have a clear vision of the desired outcome and then create a pathway to get there. Let me walk you through the process we use to create our invented future for the business and our family. My mom, Greg, Brian, and I spent a significant amount of time engaged in some incredibly deep discussions. The deliverable of these marathon sessions is the Miller 2020 vision. When we say 2020, we're referring to the year 2020. But it's interesting that 2020 also refers to visual acuity, the clarity or sharpness of vision. So in this regard, you can think of this plan as using both meanings of 2020. The 2020 vision provides clarity of sight. It's a body of work that's an attempt to step into the future and define where we want to get to and the steps we need to take to get there. This represents our version of time travel. Think of Back to the Future. Remember the DeLorean and the time flux capacitor? Imagine sitting in the DeLorean and punching in the future time date as January 1, 2020. So from this position in the future, we consciously determined where we wanted the Larry H. Miller Group and the Miller family to be. We were then able to look back to today and determine milestones or micro-strategies that would be needed to achieve this desired future. The purpose and intent of the Miller 2020 vision is to distill everything down to its lowest common denominator, giving us a roadmap so we know what activities need to be at the forefront. This helps provide clarity to focus on the things that matter most. We created 4 documents that now guide us on this journey. Family Charter, Bold Statements, Statement of Accountability, and Strategic Outcomes. I'll share a high-level explanation of each of these 4 documents to provide context, but we'll emphasize the business strategic outcomes as these will have the most impact on you as employees within the LHM Group. The first document we created was a Family Charter, a document that expresses who we are as a family and what we're about. For the Larry H. Miller Group, in February of 2015, we created and shared the group's mission, vision, and values. The Family Charter is the equivalent document for the family. The second and third documents are called Bold Statements and Statements of Accountability. The Bold Statements represent a declaration of a future for the family and the business. These statements or declarations are written as headlines from the future, as if we brought back with us in the DeLorean a newspaper from January 1, 2020. Imagine short, compelling headlines, sound bites, if you will. The Statement of Accountability represents the specific things we need to do in order to make those bold statements or headlines reality. In essence, we are living into our future. We create the headline, then we work to make it a reality. These documents have great significance to the family. We're committed to and passionate about them, but they're not the focus of this presentation. My intention is to focus on the strategic outcomes, which is the 4th set of documents we created. These denote the specific outcomes which, if achieved, are the realization of our vision and the fulfillment of our commitments. They represent leverage points for many other desirable outcomes. When we thought about 2020, we saw it as a blank canvas. We created strategic outcomes for each of the following 4 areas of focus: family, ownership, philanthropy, and business. For each area of focus, we created a succinct statement that embodies our vision. I'd like to share these with you. Remember, these are written as if we took the DeLorean and traveled to the year 2020, wrote them, and then brought them back with us to today. Are you with me? Family. In 2020, drawing strength from our diversity, we are unified. We are educated and understand our roles, responsibilities, and opportunities. We function using a clear system of family governance. Ownership. In 2020, 2.0 serves as unified and effective stewards and has begun to purchase additional ownership shares of certain LHM companies. Philanthropy. In 2020, the Miller family's philanthropy, business and family, is well coordinated, effective, and administered by the Miller Family Office. Our giving demonstrates our commitment to enrich lives, uniting our family and serving as a source of pride for our employees. Business. In 2020, the LHM group of companies is a privately owned, highly profitable family business that emulates the Miller family values, capitalizes on emerging opportunities, and remains adaptable to the ever-changing landscape of business. Let me share with you visually where these 4 strategic outcomes fall on an organizational chart. We have 2 sides, business and family. To help, let me provide a quick overview of the organizational structure. The 4 business entities report to a president. The 4 presidents report to the CEO, and the CEO reports to the board of directors. On the family side, the board of directors reports to the family board of managers. The Miller Family Office and the Miller Family Foundation are on the family side of the organizational chart, as are the Family Council and the Family Assembly. This is a highly simplified version of the organizational chart. It shows both sides, the family business and the business of the family. Let me show you where these 4 strategic outcomes fall on this structure. Family falls on the family side, business on the business side. Ownership and philanthropy straddle the line as they impact both sides. As a family, we feel it's important for you to be aware of our vision for the future. As such, we've created a video that I'd like to share with you about the 2020 vision.
The 2020 vision is a plan that our families put together to guide the Larry H. Miller Group of companies into the future generations of leadership and governance. And it's something that we put an awful lot of thought into. It's actually been evolving since before my dad passed away.
I think sharing this with our employees gives them an opportunity to have a glimpse into what our vision is and how we arrived at it, because it affects them and it affects our family, and the 2 work together to create a future that we can live within.
As we projected ourselves 5 years into the future, we were able to describe not only what we want for the business, but for the family, for our philanthropy, and for the ownership. One way to think of the Miller 2020 vision is that we're painting a picture of the future. And if you imagine a blank canvas, then you can think of the 4 corners of the canvas: business, family, philanthropy, and ownership.
One of those quadrants being the business. Obviously, the business is the lifeblood to everything that happens.
The Miller 2020 vision is a bold and clear vision of where our family wants the group to be and how it wants the business to operate. It's with boldness that we declare our business strategic outcome. In 2020, the LHM group of companies is a privately owned, highly profitable family business that emulates the Miller family values, capitalizes on emerging opportunities, and remains adaptable to the ever-changing landscape of business. Our family's desire is that by or before January 1st, 2020, the following milestones have been achieved. We have charged the board with ensuring that the business realizes our 2020 business strategic outcome. Each business we own has a rolling 5-year strategic plan and an annual operational business plan. Each business is profitable or has a solid action plan to become profitable. The board of directors is fully integrated and functioning at a high level. We actively and effectively develop our people and build leaders. We have provided work environments where our employees are safe, valued, and respected. We have developed a well-trained employee base that emulates the Miller family values. All employees will have seen and understood the significance of their contributions to their particular business, the overall enterprise, and the community. The 3rd generation of the Miller family will have begun to take leadership and management opportunities within the business. We have analyzed the feasibility of creating an entrepreneurial incubator within the LHM group. And we've explored ways to operate our businesses more sustainably.
Well, it's our hope that by sharing the 2020 vision with our employees that they can see that we have a plan and that we are leading and managing with a purpose, that we have intention, that we know where we're going, we know where we want to be, and that we've got a clear path to get there.
My hope for the 2020 vision is that if we were having a discussion 20 or 30 years from now or beyond about the aspects of the Larry H. Miller organization and what makes it great, it will be because of the work that we've done to establish the 2020 vision.
With the Miller 2020 vision, our intention is to be the best place to work and the best place in town to do business. And we're confident that that can happen because this gives us a roadmap to excellence.
This video represents a high-level summary of the material I've shared this morning. I hope hearing it directly from my mom and my brother sends a powerful message that we're aligned and committed. Greg's closing comment in the video demonstrates the importance we place in the Miller 2020 vision, that it positions us for continued success, and that 20 or 30 years from now, it will be acknowledged that this document and its successful execution will be viewed as one of the group's most significant pivotal points. This is how strongly we feel about the significance of this body of work. The concept of creating our desired future and then living into it is tremendously powerful. This is how we take charge of our destiny. This is how we make our dreams become reality. We live intentionally into that future. As you can tell by our creating and sharing this vision, the family fully intends to remain involved in the business. And our family enterprise will remain family-owned. What I've shared represents just one piece of the puzzle. We are working hard every day on the broader vision so you can focus on your part. I began by asking you to think of a superpower you wish you had. A superpower is something that is superhuman or extraordinary. Because of each of you collectively, the Larry H. Miller Group of Companies is extraordinary. In that sense, we have a superpower. We enrich lives. We are the best place in town to work and the best place in town to do business. We have employees who embody the values of integrity, hard work, stewardship, and service. With the Miller 2020 vision, we have the superpower of predicting the future by creating it. In this regard, you are all superheroes. Thank you for all you do for our family and our businesses. Gail will now address us with some closing remarks.
Thank you, Clark and Steve. The story Clark shared was one of Larry's favorites. I am pleased that so many of you have been introduced to it. But please understand it's more than just a simple story. If you dig deeper, it offers profound insights and lessons that can be applied to many aspects of our lives, at home and at work. It teaches values that are relevant today. It's like layers of an onion. On the surface, it's just a sweet story. But as you peel away layers, you can see it differently. You can see the deeper meaning. I encourage you to not just read the story, but to ponder and internalize the powerful message it holds. This is why the story holds so much significance for Larry and me. I received many comments about the strong culture of values within our company and how having that platform has strengthened our ability to build and preserve a presence for good wherever we do business. Hard work, integrity, stewardship, and service are the main fundamental core values that unite us. And with that combination, we will always be stronger together than we can ever be individually.